Okay, Sunday sermon, take two, from a place where we have internet, because, why not do it the right way and get everybody over here saying hello? So we are live in a couple of places, all of the places you could be live for Hometown Hippie. We are live in YouTube, we are live on our business page, and we are live on our private Facebook group. So we're back, we have good internet, there's no more me getting kicked out and all the craziness that is the internet at my house right now. Has been for a minute. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Whoever that first person was, it just says Facebook user, please give StreamYard permission to see your name. Good morning, Dennis Casey. Good morning, good morning. If y'all could do me a favor and do what it says in the comments down here below me. If you could say hello and tell me where you're watching from, that'll help get people to see the live. And then if you could do that. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Thanks for watching. That's not the right one. Let me give you the right one. Let's have you drop a grateful Fed in the comments when you jump on. So, yay. I am back with better service, and it is Sunday sermon. And it's interesting that this happened this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's just showing me Facebook user with this one as well. So if you've not allowed StreamYard to see your information, please allow them to do that so that I can say hello to each individual human being or human person that pops in this morning. I do appreciate y'all. It's interesting. I was saying this a little earlier whenever I was at the house, and kind of like, man, about all of the internet things happening. Like I said, sometimes there's a message that comes in hot and heavy. Sometimes there's not, right? And this morning, as I got up, because I got up at 9:30 this morning. And I sometimes find myself on Sunday mornings, if I don't have, good morning, Katie, Catherine, if I don't have something that came through hot and heavy on Saturday nights. Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all for finding me again. I appreciate that so much. Will be no more of me jumping out and jumping in. I love that so much. But a lot of times, if I woke up this morning exactly like I do a lot of times when I don't have a message that's already been given to me. As I wake up about 30 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and a half before Sunday sermon, and I wake up with this sense of overwhelming anxiety, right? A little overwhelming anxiety. I'm like, oh no, I've got this live, right? And this is what today's message is about, and it's a lesson for everybody, including me. I had to live it to learn it, right? To live it to learn it. And I get this overwhelming anxiety, and I get this and anxiety comes from a place of fear, right? And our goal is to always operate from a place of love and walk and step outside of fear and not let fear control our lives, right? That's what I always have to tell y'all. And I want to practice what I preach. So I've been doing or trying to do better about taking a deep breath, right? Taking a deep breath. And just staying in that just for today, just in this moment, everything is well. I can't change this in 15 seconds. In 15 seconds, nothing's going to if the messages on Sundays, what I say to myself, the messages on Sunday are divinely guided. They are always, I'm just the messenger, right? And I was like, I am just the messenger. And it is not mine to control when and how the message is given, and trust that it will come. And as I got up and I did that little invocation this morning, because woke up with that sense of dread. Has anybody if you're watching this, tell me in the comments. I want some comments today. I'd like for y'all to communicate with me. So number one, if you can do me a favor and just hit that like button, hit the heart button, hit the O-face button. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on YouTube and you've not done so already, please hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up, and hit that bell so you do get notifications when I'm live. Good morning, Melissa. And then I need you to do me a favor, right? Say hello, tell me watch from the comments, drop a grateful Fed, and then tell me, right? Have you ever woken up or just just for no apparent reason, you just get this like, holy shit, there's like this sense of dread, this overwhelming sense of crap, right? Like, did I forget something? Like, almost like just like a overwhelming sense of overwhelm, if that makes sense, right? And, this morning, and I've been doing better about just for today, just in this moment. I want to share something with you. So I was going through this and I was trying to find I usually try to I'm like, sometimes if the message is not there, um, I'll get the just let them know you're coming and it'll happen when it happens. And I was getting ready to go onto Facebook and post the post this morning that says, don't forget Sunday sermons at 10 a.m. Let me go in here and post this post. And I was going through, and the first thing that popped up today, I'm not sure who shared it. Somebody else in the group did. And I went in and grabbed it. I believe it was from somebody in here. And it said, so Lisa, you suffer from anxiety. So yes, right. And this is the year we're going to help everybody not suffer from anxiety. We're going to learn to control, and we're going to reframe our anxiety into excitement and all those things. So I found this. It said, here's the thing about goals, friends. If you do what you say, someone in your world is going to get uncomfortable. And because you may want to keep the peace, or you don't like confrontation, you choose to fail to restore the balance. And how many of us have ever tried to stand in our power? And I saw this, and I'll tell you why this came into play for me today. How many of us have ever tried to say, I've made decisions for me, right? I've made decisions for me that were like, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to do that for myself. I'm going to do this for myself. And then when it comes to putting the rubber, where the rubber meets the road, whenever you start making yourself a priority, you start holding boundaries, and you start expecting people to treat you like something you love, because when you love yourself, you treat yourself as such. And then other people are required to give you that same respect that you give yourself. Because when people see you respecting yourself, they know that they cannot disrespect you. Right? Anybody else ever gotten there where, and then you have this place to go, right? Do I make the people in my life more comfortable by going back into old patterns? Or do I say, I am standing in my boundaries, and if it makes you uncomfortable, then maybe this is not the season of my life that you need to be in. Right? And I didn't have a clue this morning what the message was going to be about, but this popped in, and I'm like, we just talked about last week, right? About being able to set a goal, being able to know what your destination is, and getting into that mind space of being already there. Don't worry about the dollar amount or the weight loss or the amount of financial relief you have to have, but think about how it feels in a year from now when you've already accomplished all the things, right? Think about how you would feel in your skin. Think about how your joy would feel, right? All the things. We talked about that last week. And I'm hoping, and I want to ask a question. How many of you this week ran into situations where, number one, did you do it? Did you say, what brings me joy in my life? Did you do your journaling? And did you say, what is going to make me happy? Right? Because I bet you, and we talked also on this last week about the full moon and releasing and letting things go. And right now is where rubber meets the road, right? Right now is where you have to do the things, right? This is when you actually do the things you say you're going to do, it makes those around you uncomfortable. And you have an option at that point, right? You can do the harder thing, right? You can do the harder thing, and you can stand in that power and say, for right now, if you're mad at me and it's making you uncomfortable that I'm loving myself, then that is a you problem, not a me problem, right? And a lot of times we can't get there. So we try and we say, well, I gave up on myself. And what we really did, right, is that we fell into old patterns to make people pleasing those around us, right? And we justify I did it for someone else. I did it in sacrifice of, right? I did it it's easier to keep, it's easier to do it myself and not worry about, I've heard it from y'all. And we were 1 week in, and when this message popped up today, I'm like, there's somebody who, like I said, and it's okay if this happened this week, guess what you do right in this moment? If that has happened to you this week, right? I want you to say, it's okay. I can start right in this moment and begin again, because you can. It is not about the setback. It is the comeback, right? It is not the setback. It is the comeback. And the thing is that you just keep trying. right? And you just keep loving yourself and you just keep doing what you say. And I promise you, when you're consistent in doing what you say, the peace that you think that you're gaining from right now is really not peace. It is basically like putting a piece of tape on a pretty your thumb in a leak. Like imagine the Hoover Dam springing a little bitty leak and you put your finger in it to plug that hole, right? The pressure is going to build up and it's going to explode, apparently, right? I've lost friends because I take better care of myself and less doing for them. They were wearing me down. I'm happier, right? Exactly. So sometimes you have to be able to understand that keeping that peace, it's just going to basically put a band-aid on the leak. And over time, it's going to explode and it's going to get worse. If you would have addressed it and you would have handled it when it was the leak and repaired it right then and said, hey, we're not doing that, right? We are going to fix this and communicate through this, and we're going to patch this hole. We're not going to put a band-aid on it. You will find that doing that harder work right then in that moment is a lot less harder work than it is trying to repair something that has exploded and gone off the rails after you've put that hole in it and it blows up, right? Because you have more resentment because your finger's been in that hole for a long time. You've got more resentment because the pressure's actually broken a bone, and maybe you've had to, at your own expense, miss things because you're holding that dam closed with your finger, right? And I think y'all know where I'm going with this, right? You're not going, you have to understand that as you raise your vibration, some people are just not going to come along with you, and that's okay, because just like we talked about, tears, sometimes that lethargic or that cathartic ability to release and let go of all of the anxiety and all of the fear and all of the stress and all of the anger and all of the things that come out of our bodies when we shed those big, like, healing tears, right? When you're like, oh, I've meditated and I really found an answer, and you're just crying and releasing and letting go. And then you find that there's so much more abundance that you receive after that because you made room for it. So if you are somebody who has not been as true to your game thus far in your goal setting or your resolutions or your new year or your new plan, I want you to say, well, I can't because of this. I want you to understand that you can't not because of. If you want the things that you dreamed about in this last week, when we looked at that, like, where does your where does your life look like? What does your life look like in a year when you've actually done all the things that you want to do to be all the things that you want to be, right? How does it look? How does it feel? And I'm going to tell you this right now, right? And I want you to know, you cannot have all of that until you make room for it. So if you know that you have things in your life, people, places, things, stuff that is holding you back, that you are having to put your finger in the hole, I want you to know, when you pull your finger out, allow that leak to happen, address the leak, fix it. It's going to free you up to receive all the things that you deserve in your life, right? But you cannot do it if your arms are full of bullshit. You can't grab onto the good shit, right? We say, inhale the good shit, exhale the bullshit. Well, guess what? You can't, if you don't let go of the bullshit, there's no room to inhale the good shit. You have to get all that bullshit out so you can have the good shit. And that's what you're doing, right? When you're holding on, your ego is saying, this is comfortable. This is the bullshit we know. This other stuff's probably going to be bullshit. And you just don't know this bullshit. So be safe and keep the bullshit you know. I did not know this is going to be the bullshit service, but apparently it is. If this makes sense to anybody, can I get a hallelujah, amen in the comments? How many of you have been with somebody, maybe you were in a relationship when you were younger, and you gripped and you held on? I know us females sometimes do this a lot, right? You are with somebody and you are I want this person to be my forever person, and they're just not doing it. And they're just not doing it. And you're just holding on, and you're holding on, and you're holding on. And then finally you've put your finger in the well long enough to where something explodes, and it explodes, and y'all go your separate ways. And within 3 months, that person's dating somebody and they're getting married and they're engaged and they love it. You're like, what in the world, right? Because you were holding on to something that wasn't yours. Maybe it's reversed. Maybe you let go of that person, and then the next day you meet the person that is your forever person, right? Because when your arms are full of that which doesn't belong to you, how do you go and shop for the stuff that is yours? How do you pick up those blessings along the way that are meant for you when you're holding on to all of those things that no longer serve your highest and best? And I'm trying to frame it in a way where you'll understand to let it all go. The things that are not bringing you peace, the things that are, and this, we're still in this new moon, this full moon energy side where you can say no more. I am no longer allowing those things that do not serve my highest and best. I'm no longer allowing those behaviors that are not making me, evolving me into a higher vibrating being, right? And no one can do that on this planet for you but you. No one can do it for you but you. And, we talk about this, and it's so interesting because the universe always responds to what we need, right? And, we have been working here at Hometown Hippie diligently since we came back from break. I told all the team, I said, look, guys, ladies and gentlemen, and all the things. I was like, this next year, we're finishing out 2022, but we're in the space and we can kick off 2023 with a whole different kind of thing, right? When you are not looking right and on the blessing sitting there at the edge waiting for you. You really are. And it has been an uncomfortable week. It has not been a sunshine and rainbows kind of week. Y'all have seen me come on here Wednesday night and have a cry fest and let it all out and all the things. And, last night we usually on Fridays and Saturday nights, it's kind of my night to kind of let my hair down and kind of let it go. And last night was Saturday night. I went yesterday to see my brother. So I was, I was not in the greatest of headspaces yesterday afternoon. It always makes me a little sad to see my brother in jail. And I really, stress and worry about him. And I wish nothing but the best for him. And I want more than to be able to find a way to help get some time back and bring him home and see him healed through all of his, addiction and things he dealt with, why he's where he's at. And we don't look back at what you did, look forward to what you're going to. Exactly, right? And I believe that a million times, right? We can't hold on to the rear view mirror is this big and the windshield's this big for a reason. I believe that we have to learn lessons from our past, and we have to I'm so sorry you haven't been there. Sheila, we missed you. We just want you to feel better, right? We want you to feel better because I'm going to be honest, like the universe is, it answers things in the most uncrazy ways for people. It gives you time to think. It gives you time to reflect. It gives you time to figure out what's important to you, all of those things. And this last week, like I said, everything that we make has a work order sheet attached to it that has to have your intentionality. It has to have the affirmation that goes along with it. We said we're taking away, we could either make dollars or make a difference. And I know what you meant, baby girl. We decided that we are about making a difference and the rest of it will follow suit, right? If we commit to that process and detach from the outcome, we are committing to the process, creating healing foods, and we are committed to the process of knowing that what we are doing is to the highest and best of our clients. And that's what we're doing. And then the rest of it will figure itself out. And that's what we have to believe in, right? That's 100% what we have to believe in. And this week I have been on the struggle bus, right? I have been gripping on to anxiety and fear and worry about getting things done and things not turning out right. And the universe said to me this week, get out of your own head. Get out of your own head and stop doing it from here so much and start doing it more from here. I mean, it was like the universe literally like said, Tammy, and it was not like impression. It was like, hey, Tammy, when you just allow and when you are just let it flow and let it go, right? When you let go, when you let God, there's nothing that can stop you. right? But when you get inside your head and you try to control it and you try to pace it and you try to plan it and you try to do all these things, that's when things go off the rails because you get too cerebral about it. And it was just like this talking to, it's like somebody just in my ear saying, so what I'm going to need you to do, I'm going to take some deep breaths, put on your favorite music, dance around the kitchen and have a little bit of fun with it. And I'm going to tell you a little story about this past week. And then we're going to pull a card because, you know, it is take two. In your own way, yeah, you get inside your head. So for those of you that don't know, we do have a very robust, we do specialized cakes for people. And y'all have seen the cakes pop in the group and you've seen the cake we just did. We do have a new mold that has our logo. So you get a little logo of like our Phoenix and then some other decorations on your cake. And we had a birthday cake due Saturday. And I was working on getting it ready. And I had this beautiful idea because we talk about flavors, but pretty much all of the, when I'm doing the cake, it's very much intuitive. And again, I get in the kitchen and we create, and I was like, we were going to do a yellow cake with chocolate icing. And that's what we decided on. And I knew it was very divinely guided. And it's interesting how the universe will work for you because this cake was supposed to be a carrot cake for the birthday boy. But the birthday boy said to his wife, I'm the only person in the family who likes carrot cake. And it's going to be a dosed cake. And I don't want to have a cake that only I'm going to eat. So let's get something more generic for the whole, because we're having a party that everybody will enjoy. Let's just get like she's like, what do we want to do? Like a yellow cake with chocolate icing. Good morning, everybody. So the day that she came in to change the cake order and pick up another order, she said to me, it's the second of, it's the day that my mom, it was the 5-year anniversary of when my mom had passed. And when she came in that evening, I was here by myself. I'd been by myself for a little bit. And I'd really been reflecting, and I really was trying to have a little moment with my mom and kind of like talk to her in the veils then, I think, on the day and, all the things. And when she came in and she changed the cake order, I was like, that's the cake. She's like, I don't know, maybe a yellow cake with chocolate. I was like, that's the one. That's definitely the cake. My mom earlier that day I was sitting here earlier that evening when I was sitting here, I was like, if you're here, Mom, and you're watching and this is pleasing to you for me to do, and this is okay for your legacy, what I plan to leave behind with the Grateful Fed and the charitable works and the community's work that I'm doing. I'm tired, Mom. And I was like, if I'm on the right path, give me a sign that you are like, let me know what your thoughts are. I know that you'll let me know one way or the other. I just need something to let me know. And when she came in that afternoon, an hour or 2 hours later, and said, I'm thinking we want to change the cake to a yellow cake with chocolate icing. I'm going to get teary-eyed again this morning because that was my mom's most favorite cake in the world. If she's going to pick a cake that she wanted, she would want a yellow cake with chocolate buttercream icing, right? She wanted a cake like that. And so I knew in that moment, right? I got my cue from the universe. And I also want to share with you this, right? My emotions were raw and real and really, 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 I was really on the struggle bus this last week. And last Monday, Sheila is here. She'll tell you, Sheila was not feeling well. She had been sick over the holiday break. I asked her, she's like, I said, hey, I want you, number one, we want you to feel 100% better before you come back. And Monday, Sheila's like, I'm not 100%, but I'm negative of all the little testy things. And I want to come back and be in the, work. Well, it was evident by about midday that she was not ready to come back. She realized that she's like, I don't feel well. We said, go home, all the things. And when she was sick, and I was like, it's going to be a minute. She's not going to be back tomorrow. I knew that in my head. The universe yelled at me and told me. I got into that fear space, right? And I was over at the mixers, and I just tell y'all everything. I know I share too much, but I'm going to share it with you anyhow. And I cleared the energy. I was like, let me get my stuff together. Let me call in some chi energy. I had my hands on the bowl for the apple pie stuffed cookies. We were making the oatmeal cookies. I had my hands on the bowl, right? Took a deep breath, and the message that came in was louder than what I told you. It said, we're showing you lack. We're showing you lack so that you may know and appreciate the abundance that is coming. And in that moment, I stepped away, and Selena, if she gets on here, she'll tell you, she started writing. I just started channeling a message, and I don't even know what the message said. It's on the paper, probably somewhere with all the things. She started writing down what I was saying. But in that moment, I was like, it's all going to be okay. And this week, because, in that moment, I also knew that I had Selena out half a day the next day and Wednesday. So I was going to have nobody here for a little bit. Mel was like, I'll step up and I'll come in and I will do the things. My nephew stepped up and came in and did dishes. Red stepped up and came in and did dishes. And I noticed, right? I noticed that I had to let go of the gripping. I had to let go of the control. I had to literally do the thing, right? And that's the message, right? Like the picture says, when you actually, that's how you know, right? It's about making goals or setting resolutions. If you do what you say, someone in your world is going to get uncomfortable. I'm not saying anybody got uncomfortable, right? But something, it'll scrub up things. When you do, right, you have to do the thing. So this week, I had to do all of the things. I had to do all of the things because guess who it made uncomfortable? Interestingly enough, you know who it made uncomfortable? It made me uncomfortable. And I had to realize, okay, and there were some processes and there were some things that had to be worked out that I was working out. The universe knew exactly what it was doing for everybody this week. Mercury's in retrograde. I had to be cognizant about communication, right? My emotions were running raw. My mom was in my ear talking to me. Do the things, it'll be fine. We got it done. Everybody understood. And then I'm going to tell you what, like it also encouraged my team because I would have taken on I pay for Reiki for the team, right? So Mel and Selena are both Reiki certified, but I tend to take over and do the Reiki. Me having to do all the things this week and being busy, I had to say to them, I need you to step your game up. They both have been practicing their Reiki. They have both been setting intentionalities. They're both as quiet as me with their hands on stuff, actually doing the work, the real work of it, right? Doing it. And they're drawing sigils on all of the, they're covering the raw material with these amazing sigils. They're writing these beautiful prayers over these foods, these blessings that go into these foods. And I can feel the power of works. It's just tripled. But I was in that place of fear. It made me uncomfortable, right? But here's the thing, right? We all stepped our game up because of it. So in this situation this week, me having to allow others to do more made me uncomfortable. They did all the things. They held their space. They did all of the work. It made me uncomfortable. But guess what? I didn't try to hold them back, right? I didn't try to say, no, I'm uncomfortable, so don't do that, do this. No, it was my responsibility to manage my uncomfortableness. It was my responsibility to either step my game up or step my way out of the picture. Right. And you should be surrounded by a community of people who, when you do the work and you change how you're operating, doesn't make you have to fail to restore the balance. It makes the people in the room step up their game because they want to be on your level. That's the way you want to shine. And that's the way that our community is going to shine, right? It's like the Grateful Fed community is not going to lower our standards. We are not going to fail to keep the peace. We are going to shine so bright that people are attracted to our light and they raise their vibration to be in our orbit. Can I get a hallelujah, amen on that? And the team this week, they decided, I don't care if you're uncomfortable, we're gonna raise the vibration. And let me tell you what Selena sent me just now. She sent me a message. And this is what part of this. This is why I had to, number one, I had to come to the shop and take a break to get this message, to have this message secured, right? And it said, so I've been practicing and I went to send you love and light and all the things. So she's at home practicing her Reiki this weekend, to be able to come back in here and be the best, baking assistant she can be. And I got an overwhelming feeling and a pressure in my face. I love you. And we all know that you're doing your best. Right. And she knows the pressure that I've been under, but yet she felt it and she knew it and she's attuned to it. And here's the thing. She has no idea how much that took pressure off of me. Because whenever I'm saying it's about making a difference, not a dollar, it is, right? But I also want to make sure we're making that difference, because if it's just about making a difference and about the healing, then I need to make sure that the healing's going into everything that we touch. I know the medicine does, but the healing's what makes a difference. And knowing that she's doing that work, that I know when she's doing those cookies, when I know when she's doing this or that she's putting that same amount of love and light and healing energy into everything that you all are getting as well. And then we're touching it at so many places. We're putting so much into it. And it just makes my hippie heart happy to know that, that it is very much a heart mission for just not myself, but for my team as well. Right. And we know that Sheila's coming back and she's going to go through her Reiki attunements if she's up for it and all the things. And then she'll be able to start, putting the intentionality into it and start healing and all of the things that you do when you go through the attunements. And we are just in a place. We are just in a place right now where a lot of those big picture ideas that we had for the vision of this business are starting to really take hold. Who has gotten a new order in the comments? Can you tell me anything about what you have seen, what you have felt? There are new labels on everything. They actually have the handwritten, the strain and the milligrams, so that you don't have to go to the dosing chart once your order gets there, unless you want to go see the affirmation. It talks about how the ingredient panel, what it works for, the things you should be using it for. We are taking the terpene profile of the strain we are using, and we're looking at the recipe we're building and the flavor profile. And I told you we're working with terpenes a little bit more, and we're meshing all of that together. So that's why, and we're really intuitive stuff that we're now going back and doing the science on. We made it make sense from the beginning. We were divinely guided in that. So on this Sunday sermon, right, where I had leave the house on a Sunday morning, put on a hard bra and some pants to come into the shop to use the internet. It is one of those lessons about doing the harder thing. So like the thing says about when you do the things you say you're going to do, that people may want you to not do that to keep the peace. But here's the most important part of that, right? The most important part of that message is about doing of the things. Right? Because as long as you're just talking about it, it's very comfortable just to talk about it, right? To say, oh, I know I need to do this, or I know I need to do that. But when you start the doing of the things, when you start the holding of the boundary, when you stop doing or you start treating yourself and making life affirming choices. So I don't want to say the negative side, like maybe, for example, you're going to stop drinking sodas, as I drank my diet Pepsi this morning. Maybe you're going to I don't want to drink sodas anymore. Like I'm going to, instead of saying, I don't want to drink sodas anymore, all that negative language, you may say, I choose more life affirming choices for drink. Like I choose to drink more water, or I am going to do this, or I am going to do that, right? Or not going to, I'm doing, I am always getting better. It's the doing of the thing. I can say all day long, like, I know I need to drink more water. I know I need to drink more water, but what do I need to do? I need to stop talking about it and start being about it. So versus saying, I know I need to just do the doing of the thing. That's the hard part, right? It's the going from the knowing to the doing, and then from the doing to the holding space, or holding that, because people will be uncomfortable when you start doing the thing. So from a standpoint of if you're doing the things and people are getting uncomfortable, don't allow yourself to fail. Put yourself around people who support your healing. Put yourself around the people who don't expect you to lower your standards, but they want to raise theirs to be around you. And that's why the Zen Den getting ready. We have a day of service next Saturday. I'm putting the event up today, so you can join that. We're going to have a little something at the end of the day. I'm probably going to get some pizzas to have over there, maybe a little little dose dessert for everybody. But it's the doing of the thing, right? And so the doing of the thing, the not putting yourself around people who expect you to lower your standards to be with them, but who will raise theirs to be in your atmosphere, right? And that is what you want to do. So it's number one, it's like if you're not, maybe you're not in the place yet where you got people trying to make you fail because you've not even got out of your own way yet and did the thing. So the first thing is stop telling yourself how you can't do it or how you're going to do it and start being about it, right? Stop talking about it and start being about it. That is the number one lesson walking away from this week of our Sunday sermon, right? If you are still maybe in that place where you're talking yourself out of your goals, I want you to stop doing that. And I want you to focus this week on the doing of the things. Maybe you're doing of the things, but you have people in your atmosphere who are asking you to fail. I want you to stop. And I want you to think about the fact, are those the people that you need to be around? Are those the people who you need to surround yourself with? If you need encouragement and you need to remind yourself to stay in your enlightened path, if you need people who are going to support you, then ask for it here in this group. We're going to be rearranging some of the social media and how it looks in the group. There's going to be a place to say, hey, I need some people to hold space for me. I've got people that are kind of sending me some poison darts. I need some love bombs. That's how Heart Space started. So we're going to have a space for that. Please add yourself to that list so we know whenever we're sending Heart Space Love out where it goes. And if you're not showing up to Heart Space, that is part of the membership. It is important. If you want to see a difference in your life this year, stop talking about I shoulda, coulda, woulda, musta come and start showing up, right? It's the doing. We've talked about it. About it. And that's just, can we get a hallelujah, amen? It's time to stop talking about it and it's time to start being about it. Because I want to tell you right now, if you want to see difference in your life, where your mind goes, your energy flows, but you have to allow your energy to flow. You can't just talk about it. You got to really be about it. And I want to see y'all showing up for those things. Because if you're still struggling about finances, you're still struggling about self-love, if you're still struggling about wanting to find someone to share companionship with, or a job, or a place to live, and all of those things, start doing the harder thing. Start showing up. Start being about it. Start saying, I'm going to make myself a priority. This is as important as breathing because a lot of it is breathing. It's breath work, right? Start allowing yourself time to quiet your mind and get yourself in that space where you can start talking to the universe, talking to your spirit guides, angels, and helpers. Even if you don't do anything more than sit there during that and gives you a moment to kind of get yourself together and say a prayer to God. Say, God, I am asking you to come into my life and to show me the way. You are the way maker in the light, right? That's what our divine energy is, no matter what you call it, source, God, universe, Allah, Buddha, whatever. It's God. And if you can, you believe that there's divine power within you, because I believe there's divine power within every single one of us. We just have to tap into it, right? You just have to tap into it. There have been many times I didn't want to be there, but it felt so good and soul refreshing that I just push and go. And the more energy we combine in that, the more work that we can do into the world and for each other. There's going to be some other things coming up this week. Like I said, we're going to have our little day of service. I'm reaching out to some people about doing some educational things in the group this week. This month, we have all kinds of fun stuff. This is open enrollment month. So don't forget, if you have not signed up for the membership, you can still come do all of the things in January. There will be some things that are going to be password protected starting in February just for the membership. That's going to be that exchange of energy. So they're going to get some extra things. But Heart Space is always going to be that thing that is for everyone who needs it. And I hope that you will share with your friends and that you all will also, allow yourself an opportunity just to sit and clear your mind for a moment. So as always, we're going to end our Sunday sermon today with our crystal affirmation card, and this is going to be for our Sunday sermon journal club. If anybody's doing that, last week our question, our I think it was sandstone, and our journal questions. I have it written down. I know Heather did it for us as well. Let me see if I can find it. Sunstone, take pleasure in the things you do. So last week, our journal prompt was, what is the greatest pleasure in your life? What is a small joy you experience every single day? And, for me, I'm going to share, because that's what we talked about doing. If anybody else wants to share what they have in their thing about that. And for me, one of the greatest pleasures in my life is being able to be surrounded by community and family. Right? That's one of the greatest pleasures in my life, is being able to see the people that I love the happiest. Like knowing that Red does not have to go back, and he loved Grant's class, don't get me wrong, but having someone else control his time, control all, his where, when, what, and how, right? That kind of relationship where you had to answer to and all the things, and having the ability to be able to do this with him, and for him to be able to come in here and control his own time and make his own way and determine his own, his own value and own his own business. It has been very, very, very rewarding for me to be able to, number one, do it together as a couple, as a family, and also to be able to hopefully, spend more time, and you get retired, and you get maybe a couple of years before somebody gets sick or whatever. This an opportunity we get to be together. What is a small joy I experience every day? It is seeing people eat my food. When y'all come in the store and I give you a bite of this or a bite of that, or I get the little feedbacks, you have no idea. Watching somebody eat my food and do that little that is the greatest little small joy I experience every single day. And I appreciate all of you who allow that to happen in my life. And then, going into that, journaling allowed me to understand that I very much find joy in the service of others. For me, it is about how I affect those around me that bring me the most joy. And so it is okay, number one, that I don't have to tie my self-worth to what others think of me, but I tie my self-worth into my own mind's eye of how I help others. So for me, I love to be of service. And I know that's going to be one of those things that I do. That brings me joy, is being able to help other people and making other people smile. Being able to see somebody else laugh or smile because of something that I did, it really does fill up my cup. And that's how it works for me. I'm so excited to bring the aquarium here. So Heather says, I couldn't think of the words to describe pleasure, so I had to define it first. It was deep, but it felt good to write it out. I love that. So you have to kind of do that, right? Things that bring you pleasure, things that bring you happiness, and that's something that you really, and that's what this journaling exercise is about, because you get out of it what you're supposed to get out of it. Maybe the rule or the thing that you needed to do was actually know what pleasure was to you. I tell people all the time whenever they come to me and we're working together, I want to be wealthy, or I want to be rich. And I'm like, well, define rich. What is the definition of wealthy or successful or rich to you? And I could ask every single person watching this right now to tell me what it means to be wealthy. And every single person is going to have a different answer, because we all define success, wealth, happiness, pleasure, pain. All of us define that different. I think there's nothing more painful than a tattoo. And a lot of y'all just sit there and love it. It's pleasurable to y'all to get a tattoo. But that's the thing, right? Is that we all have our own perspective, and you cannot compare your life to others, because there's no comparison between the sun and the moon. They both shine when it's their time. So that's a very good lesson in that, Heather, is that your journaling is supposed to be exactly what your journaling is to you. And so if you started down that path of this, and your journal looked like a definition of pleasure, that's exactly what your journal was supposed to look like. And that's exactly the lesson I'm trying to get everybody to understand. There are no wrong answers. You're not doing it wrong. None of that is, you're doing it exactly like you're supposed to do it. Stop getting inside your head and start getting inside your journals. That's the message for that. So as we start this week's crystal affirmation card, we used to do this and I got away from it. We're going to get back into it this year. What I need all y'all to do is take a deep breath in through your nose as we shuffle. Right? Inhale the good shit. Exhale the bullshit. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to focus on the message as the card. Y'all did a good job on that. So jumped out on me. It jumped out of the deck, so I know it's our card. It is Celestite, and it says, Celestite, soothe your soul. And I've never, ever had this card pop out before. And then I open the book and it's exactly on the page, which is crazy. So this is definitely our card for the week. And it says, trust the things. I'm sorry. Let me get my reading voice together and let me just do it right. Okay. Trust that things happen in life for a reason. It's natural to worry about the unknown, but try tapping into hope instead. The things you worry about don't actually end up happening. And when you look back, you realize how much time and energy was wasted stressing over something you had little control over. Of course, take action when you believe you can help or change the outcome of a situation. If not, try to replace any anxiety and tension with more positive thoughts. Soothe your mind, body, and spirit with the comforting notion that it will be okay in the end. The universe unfolds as it should. Right? Stop worrying. 111. We had so much 111s this week. Y'all have no idea. We had like 6 different recipes come up of a 111.11. We had 111s on the thing. We had 111s on so much stuff this week. Angel numbers were guiding us, and it was letting us know that everything was happening exactly as it should. I had to let go of the fear. That is where the worry and the anxiety comes from. We have to, each of us, right, have to know that we are divinely guided. There's no reason to worry. Take that out of your mind, right? And then here's the core questions this week. How does worry serve you? It doesn't. It steals today's peace, worrying about tomorrow's troubles, right? What can you do? Tell yourself to ease your worries, right? Here's the mantra that we're going to write out together, right? Not even write out together. We're gonna affirm this. How can you tell yourself to ease your worries? This affirmation is absolutely perfect for that. Whenever you're stressing or where you're worrying, I want you to stop what you're doing. Okay. It all starts with a breath. If you're stressing or you're worrying or you're anxious or anything going on, I want you to take a moment this week and I want you to write this down or I want you to affirm this, okay? Affirm. I trust that all will be well. That's it. I trust that all will be well. I trust well. So be it and so it is, right? And I want y'all to affirm that this week. I trust that all will be well. Today, let go of a worry by finding a reason to fill up that space with hope instead, right? Anxiety and excitement are the exact same feeling. Just one vibrates from the heart, one vibrates from fear. Allow yourself to vibrate from love. Allow yourself to know and trust that all will be well. There's no reason to stress over it and worry about it. The things that are serving you, the things that are to your highest and best, everything is always working out. And it's interesting because if I took you into the kitchen right now, even Mel just wrote an affirmation on the board, which I don't know where it came from, but on our big board, which has got all of our little specialty orders and little notes on it, a big whiteboard, it says, everything is always working out for us. Everything is always working out for our highest and best. Everything is always as it should be. Everything is always where it's supposed to be at all times. And when you believe that and you trust that and you know that where your mind goes, your energy flows. And if your mind is going to those things that are to your highest and best, if you are saying to yourself, I trust that all will be well, I promise you all will be well. Worrying is praying for things that you do not want to happen. Stop lowering yourself to make others more comfortable. If they're falling off, they're falling off for a reason. Trust me and believe me when I tell you, you'll scoop up the dirt, right? The universe scoops up the dirt, it shakes it. And some of us are under enough time and pressure, and we rise to the occasion. Some people fall through the cracks still, right? They're still sludging through the mud. They're still a little dirty. It doesn't mean that they're not going to ever be a piece of gold or a piece of diamond. It just means that right now they've not been in the mud enough. And a lot of times y'all say, Tammy, but they have been. They're my best friend and they're struggling and I don't understand. It is not for you to understand. It is for you to live your life by example. And you can't help anybody if you're in the quicksand with them, right? That's what I tell people all the time, right? There's people who need you and people who feed you. And sometimes you have to reach up to get pulled out of the mud, but you have to pull yourself up before you can. So in this season of your life, if you are still struggling, I want you to stop putting your hand back right now and start pulling yourself up so that you have something and you have something to offer somebody to be able to pull them out as well. Again, our Grateful Fed community is going to support you. And we're going to say to you, you have to do what is in right. And do not fail in your quest to raise your vibration and offer to restore balance and peace to people who are not willing to do the healing, right? Stop worrying about what's going on in their life and start being steadfast in what happens in yours. That's when you see a change in your world. That's when you see a change in your life. And here's the thing, right? Not all of us are ready for a change. Some of us are still going to fall through the cracks, and I get it, but we're going to love you anyhow. We're not going to go into the mud and love you. We're going to love you. We're going to love you from the porch, but we're going to send you love and light, and you got to get yourself up to the porch. It's nobody's responsibility but yours, just like it's nobody's responsibility but theirs if you are allowing yourself to stay in the mud with other people. You're not helping them, and you're not helping yourself, and that's the message today. I woke up a little nervous this morning, a little anxiety about what's the message going to be, and I heard clear as day, right? It is not for yours to wonder why. Just get up and do it. Commit to the process, detach from the outcome. You are just a messenger. We've got a message you don't need to know. That is trust. That is me trying to worry this morning, and it says, I understand, all will be well. All will be fine. Everything's always happening to the highest and best, and damned if it doesn't, right? Damn if it doesn't. So on that note, with our last one, we're probably right at an hour today. So we did pretty good, right? Love from a distance. Exactly. I will be putting out some events this week. Also, I'm going to be messaging some of you individually today. So if you are willing to take a day in the Facebook group to be able to do some content for us, we are going to create a marketing or a social media schedule. I'm going to post a calendar every month in the group so that y'all can see what's going on at the store, what's going on with us, any contests we have going on. I'm going to be planning that stuff out a little bit better. I can't promise a January calendar, but I can promise it for February and going forward. We are going to do one last big blowout. So any order that is placed this week, so from today through the end of the week, through Friday, we are going to be sending bingo cards again. So you have a chance to get bingo cards. There will be opportunities on the website this week to get some bingo cards. So if you want to play our big last bingo blowout, we're going to have probably a couple, 5 games, I'm guessing. If we get enough people participating, it always depends on the participation. It's got to make sense for me to be able to afford to do it. So if y'all shop, we can afford to do it. And we're going to do one last big bingo. Grab all your bingo cards to do one big last grab on bingo cards. And then we're going to have our bingo blowout in February, the first little bit of February, and probably the first week of February. And then we'll be done with bingo. Your scratcher cards are coming. There is a sticker now that's placed on your boxes that tells you how to win with your scratcher cards. So there's a lot of those coming out, and then some new marketing stuff coming out starting in February as well, because our have, we're about out of those, and I'm going to redesign a new one of those, and it's going to be a scratcher on that. We're going to keep scratchers for a little while going forward. So we have lots of fun stuff that is happening right now. So if you want to get a bingo card, I'll put the stuff. I'm going to put it all in a little message and stuff for the group. But I just want to let y'all know that you're here this morning. And I hope that you will have a beautiful, blessed week, that you will remember not to worry, that you will surround yourself with people who want to see you raise your vibration, who want to see you successful, who want to see you happy, healthy, and wise. And if you are struggling finding those people, ask for it here in the group. This is what the community we are building is about. Ask here in the group. We'll be love to offer. I'm sure there's people here who need a friend, who need support, who's somebody you can find to Zoom with or message with to say, hey, these people are pulling me down. I need some help pulling myself out of it. And it just takes reaching out and creating the community. I will start a post. I will get this ball rolling. But on that note, we're going to get off here today and go do something, even if it's wrong. I hope you'll have a beautiful, blessed rest of your Sunday. I hope that I will see you on our Wake and Bake Monday morning. We'll be on TikTok. We'll be on What's Up Wednesday. It may be earlier in the day from here because internet at home's being a little wonky. Thursday night, heart space meditation. Saturday, we have a day of service. We'll be able to go live stream from the group. We're going to have some fun Saturday afternoon, some Saturday day. We're going to have a little social with that as well. I'm going to get some pizzas and some little edibles and a little fun stuff. So if you're interested in coming out this weekend, let me know. There'll be a place to RSVP. If you can post in there, I'd love it. We love y'all so much. We appreciate y'all so much. And we'll see y'all very soon. And on that note, as we always say, peace, love, and feast. And as always, y'all, stay elevated. I love you, and I will see you soon.